welcome to This and That. I'm Dave Lees.
I'm Jonathan Byer. Hello.
Hi.
Ah.
Hello, and for all of you who are new here, please remember to hit subscribe below because we're going to talk about all the news and Danny G plagiarism controversies and triple axel, Karen Kwan, Alyssa Liu, quad lutz combinations that are going on in the world of figure skating. And smash that like button, okay? Someone needs to love us before we start to give our honest views. Sometimes Mom doesn't give us enough love, so smash that like button. All right.
Sometimes. Okay, keep going. Keep going. Hurry, hurry.
Oh, my goodness. All right, Jonathan. Well, Meryl Davis had a wedding and didn't invite us, and it took place in Provence, France.
Yeah.
It looked very pretentious, as Meryl's social media has always hints of. And
do you think the favors were like little Vera Bradley bags or something?
I think she's beyond Vera Bradley bags, right?
Okay, she's done with it.
Someone was explaining to me at work that those are like little girl bags. They're not like...
Oh, isn't that funny? Because I would have assumed they were like old lady bags. But
I don't know.
Okay.
They weren't impressive. I just always think like, oh, she didn't get the good endorsements after she won.
Yeah. Bless her heart.
Not even like a Disney Barbie doll. And she looks like a Disney princess-ish. Come on. Anyway, I could have made a bad joke there. But anyway, it's fine.
I know. Keep going.
It's good. I won't. This is not Patreon, okay? We cannot make those comments here.
We're back to the regular Mel.
Yes.
It just makes me more nervous all the time.
Oh my God, yes. Also, Liz Manley and Sam Cesario got married on the same day. And of course, I got nervous because you know how the fans are lately on Twitter. They are really missing skating. And someone asked, why did they all get married the same day?
As if it was intentional.
Yes. And it's like, June is the month for weddings. But I was like, oh no, I'm just waiting for the fan to be like, well, I'm getting married in October. And be like,
yeah, damn it. Yeah, exactly. I don't think that these three particular skaters were pulling from the same guest list anyway.
I don't think so. And
Liz is trending for an older crowd. Sam probably didn't have too many skating people at her.
Do you ever miss Bad Ice Network? Because I'm like, we don't even get the stupid articles anymore that so-and-so got married and is coaching.
I know. But I saw somewhere, maybe you were reposting it, Sam's pictures, she looked stunning. I mean, she always was stunning as a skater, but just to see the photos is fine. I don't need the accompanying.
I forgot she existed, so I was happy to see the pictures. I was like, oh, Sam, we liked her. Yeah.
Flooded with memories of niceness, if not a fully rotated triple loop. But she was always a lovely skater. Always she was the one I was like curious to see what happened in Boston 2014.
I always used to go to Liberty, which is now the Philadelphia Open summer competition. And maybe Gracie Gold will compete there this year. I don't know. I feel like she needs to, but we'll see. We'll see, Jonathan.
Well, we have seen, haven't we? A couple of clips.
We have. And
am I jumping the gun? We can get to it when
we can just go there now, okay? So I don't say anything offensive about the group. Anyway. Yeah, Gracie Gold doing the clips on social media. How do you think she looks? What's going on?
Well, here's my first question, because you blew my mind when there were a series of jump clips that were posted previously. Okay. You know, when she was coming back or whatever was happening. And it was my understanding that maybe those weren't current clips being posted. Do you feel like these are current clips being posted?
I do. I've asked people that I know who are in the rink, and they'll be like, they're definitely current. They may be. Okay. I don't know that she's like 5 out of 5, right? But they definitely happened, and they recorded them on video. But I think that was going on too, where maybe earlier in the comeback she would hit like one a day, and that's the one they got on video, and that's the one they uploaded, which is kind of unfair then for Gracie that Vincent would put that out and kind of set that expectation, because
it's interesting. It's kind of like what we were talking about with Sui and Han with Megan, because you were saying something, or we were talking about like where do they go from here? Yeah, and she was like, whoa, don't get ahead of yourself. Because they still need to solidify what they have. And that's sort of that idea. Like, you're like, oh, she's got that. Okay, now is she going to do this? And it's like, maybe that's not really set yet. Yeah.
I like that he's posting clips. They could videotape them better. He's like...
do you think that's a motivating factor, though? Like, if you went in, like, every day and needed kind of some motivation and getting things going, if you're like, what's our clip today?
Yeah, for me, yes. But I just hope that she approves them. I don't know that she does. And why does he call her the queen? Is anyone else creeped out by that? It just seems like, I don't know that that's a safe sport rule, but maybe it should be. That just seems like blurring lines of inappropriate.
Yeah, well, I was interested, so I was perusing the rest of his page, and there was an occasional other clip of another skater, but it really did seem kind of a
voyeuristic. I don't know. There's something
alter to her. Yeah.
Although he posted his abs this week. Congratulations, I have to say.
Oh, I've got to go back and look.
Yeah, congratulations. It was a surprise. I was like, wow. Look, he obviously looks like he can teach jump rotation. I noticed on Gracie's, she's not in like top shape yet, right? So she's using the arms more than ever to kind of generate some rotation, but it is happening, and hopefully that'll calm down. I mean, it looks like she's getting in better form with each day. And I think if some of this has to be mental, like what's possible, and I think if she starts to really commit, really like get a healthy diet going on and a healthy off ice, because we see her doing a lot of like almost like high intensity interval workouts, and I think if they did like added some Pilates, eccentrics, hot yoga into it, she could really like have a nice finish look to her. And yeah, I think it's going to be, look, there are challenges, but I think that it's possible. I think that you can still see the world-class athlete underneath the layers of black clothes. Like, I think that you see
the inherent talent. It's that inherent spring, that inherent thing that's happening.
And strength and power.
Yeah, and this has got to be so different. I mean, I'm just thinking because we did 95 Worlds this morning, which was a blast. But it's interesting now to know that this early in the game, we're able to see so much. And we'll talk about it when we get to the Broadmoor Open and the Peggy Fleming Trophy. But to post isolated clips like that are very different than posting the programs. Yeah. And of course, I think that's where one can then allow themselves to be very shocked later, because you think from what you're seeing out of context is actually in context, and maybe it's not, versus things like we saw with Young Yu's triple axel.
Yes.
Seeing it in context of things make you buy it in a different sort of way.
Although I have more questions. When she did the double axel Euler triple Salchow, and
that was a laborious Euler.
It was. That's okay. I don't have a good Euler, so I'm not judging. I feel awkward.
Yeah, I shouldn't, because I have none. So there you go.
But that made me think, when he was talking about first combinations, it was like, wait a second. You sent her to Russia. That just solidifies in my mind that you had no business going. And while I want to applaud this effort, I'm still like, what the F? What was going on?
Well, that was a real red flag moment. So
I'm still not signing on. Not that it matters, but like I'm still not signing off on this coaching arrangement. I'm like, where's the adult in the room? What's happening? What's going on? And
you don't know. Does all of this kind of attention? Does his approach to the let's post the videos, let's gush online, let's almost nostalgically refer to you as excellent? If that helps motivate you, great. But does it?
Does it embarrass her? I don't know. Maybe it has to give her... People seem to be rooting for her. Although I think with each clip, because we're more used to seeing her do things, people get more critical, even though she's improving. Right? Because now...
it can't be a comparison to several years ago. It has to be a comparison.
I'm impressed that she's improving and that she is moving forward. And I think she could make it through sectionals this year. Honestly, I didn't believe that she could last year. And that's not shade. Right. I just don't think that's where she was.
It turns out she wasn't.
Right. And I'm not being shady. Like, I don't think, like, this year I think she could, right? You keep on this roll. Yeah. I think her commitment level is improving. I think I've known people when they do comebacks that they really struggle mentally. Even Kim Zemeskel talked about it, with comparing it to what you were before and how that can kind of really hurt your commitment and like giving it all you have because you're afraid to make yourself vulnerable. And what happens if you fail? And I have this gut feeling that with each day that she goes out there and does a section, she starts to think like, oh, maybe I could do this. So then you start to work a little harder. Then you start to eat a little better. Then you do that extra off-ice class. Then you start to put
I would be motivated by results. And so that's, I mean, if there is kind of a, let's do a let's tow by the end of July and get it on Instagram, like somehow it kind of takes some pressure off because it doesn't have to be perfect every one you do, but we just need to get a couple really good ones and we'll pick. I mean, if that's the motivating factor, more power to you. But it is like an exercise in mindfulness because I would think there could be such depression about what she was or opportunities that have been, you know, missed. Or there's probably a great deal of anxiety about what happens when I try in a real situation again.
I think we'll know that she's doing well and feeling good when she takes off the big black sweatshirt and the big black pants and when she reposts the video. I would rather the clip be on her page than his. That's just, and I'd rather him share
That's a really good point. Like, her sharing a project she's working on and achieving goals versus, again, kind of driving home that opportunistic point.
Yeah, being like, this took me 2 years to get back, and this doesn't seem like a lot for a lot of people, but for me, this meant X, Y, and Z. I think that would be, like, really warming. When he posts it with his, like, weird hashtags, I just feel like...
And always at USFS.
Oh, yeah.
But, you know, even when Jenny, for a period of time, was, like, coming back and she was posting double sows and things like that and showing things in the harness, people all get behind it because we feel like we're doing it with you.
Yeah.
And it can really be endearing to the public. Like, okay, let's go on this journey with you. Let's root for you. Let's see how you do it. And, of course, behind the scenes, you can be manipulating that narrative a little bit. Mm-hmm. But that's a really good point. If it was coming from her viewpoint, I would buy all of it so much more because this could still be imposed on her.
Yeah. It just always makes me a little... Like, he always looks like it's, like, not, like, a joint effort doing together. You always wonder... I don't know.
Because the only way out of it is, I would think, it's just someone, as a performer, it's like, if I was going to go back to something, it'd have to be on my terms, and I'd have to be doing it for myself because I have to do it.
She's one of the best skaters in the world, right? Or what
she wants to please.
Was, whatever. I still think she's one of the biggest talents. She knows when a jump is under-rotated, so for him to put that on media and then have everyone be like, well, that jump was cheated, she knows that. At the same
and throws her right back in that toxic environment. That skating, like, and maybe she's not ready for that.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just my feeling that makes me nervous. Maybe she's fine with it. It just, because the interviews that she's given makes me think that maybe she's not fine with it. So that's where I come from. So,
but now the quote-unquote comeback that is blowing my mind, and I may have revisionist history on this, so you're going to have to help me, but with Karen Chen, at this point last year, we can talk about whether or not jumps still appear under-rotated or whatever. However, I don't think we ever saw anything of this level from Karen Chen last year.
No. I think she was injured. We never, right, like there was all that controversy with the boots. Then she withdrew from Worlds, and they never gave a clear explanation on what happened. And it looked like messiness that the USFS often gaslights us. Do you ever notice that? Like, they often just pretend like things didn't happen. Like, the whole thing with Karen and the boot company, and then her withdrawing from Worlds, and them never even issuing, like, a press release about it.
It was as if she never existed.
Right?
All of a sudden, she was completely just a non-factor in the whole scene.
I was talking to Jenny about this recently, and I said, do you remember when Mariah Bell was accused of intentionally hurting her competitor, and the USFS just said nothing about it, like it never existed, and they still pretend to, like, at least give
They're
us...
spineless a little bit in those moments. Even when we were talking about Nicole, they didn't come to her rescue when she needed help.
They sort of did then. I think Richard really was the one who took the reins there. I was reading the articles. But they were more present there. But now, I think they like, well, skating's such a niche sport. No one cares about us. And then they're like, we'll just pretend like it didn't happen. But
yeah, if we just ignore it, it will be fine.
Yeah. No, I think that they did maybe get security for Mariah, or like it was I don't, but again, they don't put details in place, and it just seems like she was hung out to dry, and they didn't have a defense of her. And back in the Ice Network days, I think they would have more. You would have had a couple quotes from people. It just seems irresponsible.
But I could have seen Ice Network dodging it entirely.
Well, they could have. They didn't. Yeah. But at least give Lynn Rutherford a byline. Come on, she could have written that article. Come on. You know?
She would have figured it out. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. It's so them. Okay? They are always just the ickiest, like, you always know what U.S. figure skating is going to do. Apparently, they're like, at the Broadmoor Open this week, everyone's like, they're all over Alyssa Liu and that dad, and they were, talking to him through.
If you did it right, you'd have 10 Alyssa Lius.
But, why is that a score not what they wanted for the short program or something? Well, the jump was under-rotated, right? Like, they're just like, that she has the power, and they are, like, swarming. Just all ingredients pointing to, like,
yeah.
I mean...
hobnobbery. And it's like, you
just know. I mean, this is probably why Karen is competing here, to get the narrative positive again. Because
I have to say, if you were like, okay, Karen, what's your one job? And it's to go and show that you are in this. When we did our Grand Prix thing, I truly believe there was no way in hell she was going to show up this fall. And for this to have happened, it sent the exact statement she was looking to make, which is, yeah, I will be. Yeah, I will be, and I have a program, and I have jumps.
And then I almost said a comment, and I'm like, well, Sean Rabbit is going to be going for the TBD. Sure enough, Jonathan, he is. And here's another thing about the USFS, is that last year he was upset that he didn't get it, and because they never want to be on the record of saying anything, they'll never tell him that he's not going to get it, right? And you know why he's not going to get it? Because it's not about the score he gets in a summer competition before that. Is that... Yeah,
it's because it's not fair. Inherently, it's not fair.
If they don't think that you have the future potential, they're not going to invest in you, even if you earned that by a score in a summer competition. Remember Megan was saying the fact that you won that doesn't mean anything if you can't get a bigger score in January.
And Sean is this kind of like niche skater that does have a following within the superfan community and is an entertaining skater. Yeah. However, if you're the USFS and you're all clamoring around Alyssa Liu, I mean, it's kind of,
are we
giving an honorable mention, or are we pushing those that need to really get out there? And unfortunately, that would be a novelty instead of a functional.
They're pushing Knozhan, they're pushing
Torgashev,
and Camden. And even maybe Camden has the assignments. I forget if he has one or two, but that's what they're doing. And it's like, no one tells Sean this. Like, just be honest. For once, have integrity. That's...
Yes, because you know what? It's unfair. If you're someone in a position like Sean Rabbit, as many skaters often find themselves, you're trying to weigh your options here. And if you're weighing an option with the idea of a false hope, it's not fair. Yeah. Because one thinks it may be a real, I don't know, what's the expression? Chilly day in hell? I don't know what it is. In which they are like, okay, we won't worry about cultivating our new talent that needs the experience, and instead let's give this like kind of career acknowledgement.
They just like want you around so you can push the other skaters, and they're using you at that point. It's good to have more part of the herd, right?
But I understand Sean, who's probably going to make a career within the sport, I would assume.
Well, he coaches now. So he could already be coaching more hours a day than training those hours.
But having a Grand Prix assignment, probably having competed in a Grand Prix, I think you elevate a great deal.
Yeah, but I don't think they're going to do it, right? Because they're going to go...
I don't think so either. And I can't, and it's an unfortunate situation, but I think USFS is right in cultivating more of the young guns.
But don't you think the USFS would be right in explaining the rules of the road to you? Like, well, if they show potential, we're going with them because of X, Y, and Z.
Yeah, I mean, but of course, as an organization, they have to say never, but they have to be upfront a little bit. I mean, how can you conscious do?
Like they like tell you what you want to hear. And then they're like,
and if he was going for the tokenism spot of that entertainer, just feel good, American choice, I'm surprised it's Turandot. Because I was like, then go out and do another Mambo, because what
you should write to him. You should write to him and tell him this, because I think like Jonathan,
isn't he a lefty too?
No.
Oh, okay.
I don't think so. He's a rare breed. He's a ginger, but I don't think he's a lefty.
Yeah, he's a ginger. He's tall. I just assumed we were connecting on more than just tall. But okay, was Scott Dyer a lefty?
No.
I thought they were like one of those guys that like you enjoyed watching, but they weren't necessarily in the top 6. That was a lefty. Okay, I'm just going nuts.
Anyway, we were supposed to talk about Zagitova right off the bat before we get into
I'm sorry, Dave. That's right.
But then we need to get into Karen Chen. Karen Chen, yeah, looking good in June. I don't know what this means for peaking, though. But good for her for being back in shape. I think the combo is still under. In the short, I wasn't sure, and I wanted a better video because
it's hard, of course, to tell. But again, I will take under rotated right now because she may grapple with the same demons that plagued her, in earlier years. But the fact that she's like up and at the table, she has a seat at the table, and I'm impressed. I forgot how good her spins were.
They are so healthy? Good. That's what I wonder. And if she stays healthy, should she defer college? Do we need to go to Cornell now? Because now you're actually back in the skating game where you were really over before. And
last year would have been the good Cornell year.
But now, should she defer? I mean, Colorado, you could take a couple core classes and then start. I don't know. Like, Cornell's always there.
Get your gen eds via correspondence or something. They'll play with her, don't you think?
They could, if you could talk to Cornell. Like, I don't. If she goes to Ithaca now, I think it's all for nothing, right? Like, I think, like, great that you got back in shape. You'll always have that, but as soon as you go off on your own, the chances of you pulling a Nathan... Like, Nathan was struggling before he got back with Rafael.
Nathan was struggling for Nathan.
Yeah.
So, yes, the results still show undefeated.
Yeah.
However, we know that there was a journey within his own...
season and
standards.
And then he would spend 3 weeks back with him, and that was a rarity, and Nathan's one of the most talented people. And not that Vincent
and self-motivated.
Yeah, and I don't know that they're not self-motivated, but he's one of the highest... He's a virtuoso talent, right? Like, he's a virtuoso...
That's a good way to put it, yeah.
It's not the norm, even for the norm among high-level athletes, because obviously these people are talented, right? Like, it's not that they're not talented, but... Anyway, yes, let's talk about the Trusova.
Are we all in trouble now for having bit our shirt?
Honestly... What do you think about it? You can say it first. You're a musical artist and a reality TV star. Oh my God. Before we go to Trusova, let's discuss that before we forget it.
Okay, let's talk it out. I don't know what we're allowed to say or what we're not allowed to say, but we'll just keep it between us. But they may or may not have contacted someone else I know to do it also.
Well, yes, that happened, okay?
I mean...
But
just saying.
All right. Well, can we talk about that? Fine. I'll talk about what my decision-making process was, and we can talk about how they're not open about such things. And okay.
Well, yeah.
Okay. So we were contacted in November.
Yeah, November, December, somewhere in there.
They wanted us on the worst cooks in America. I had never seen the show, to be honest.
I hadn't either. I had to look it up.
I've only ever seen the Food Network when it's on in this one like eatery that I will go in and the sound is off. So
okay.
It's not that show. It's like 4 people cooking together. I don't. But anyway, I was like, oh great, okay. So, but it was a little hard for reality shows that they were casting 2 seasons at once, and they wouldn't tell us if they wanted us for March or May.
And it's interesting coming from, you are such a type A planner, and I come from the world of opera where things are planned so far ahead of time, and it does seem like the musical theater industry, but definitely the television industry for sure, is very like last minute.
Yeah.
And for those who would be skirting on other responsibilities during that time, like it's very difficult to try to figure that out.
Yeah. And also, like, my company's weird too, where they would have wanted me to like exhaust all of my PTO days before I did it, or I could take unpaid leave. It was just like a lot of stress to like...
It wasn't the right time.
Plan out the year, and then for like the amount of money that they offer, like guarantee per episode, and then you don't know how long you're going to be there. It was like a lot going. It stressed me out, and I ghosted them. At the end of the day, that is
yeah. What a USFS move, Dave.
I did.
Just ignore it. Just go.
I tried to like because. Well, I'm like, well, March is the World Championships, and what am I going to do? Not like, how am I going to watch the Worlds while you're filming a reality show? And how are you going to? Anyway, there are a couple episodes where Jonathan may or may not be in a like random dormitory from back in the day. I don't remember who you were.
When we filmed.
Yeah, you were on location for a while.
You and I filmed. Yeah, it was just a hotel room.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we definitely were still filming a skating lesson during it.
Yeah, but we didn't know,
I had to get like special permission to like be on Skype.
Anyway, I don't actually know how you did, but I'm very curious to watch.
Yeah, that I won't say because we're not allowed to talk about it.
But we are going to discuss it. We are going to break it all down.
And what was killing me was when Tanya was on it and we couldn't really talk about it.
Was yours filmed before hers or after?
It would have been after. Because they film in the order, I believe, that the seasons air. So she would have been the season 15 or 16, and I'm the one right after. So, but I didn't know at the time she had even been on it. Okay. They keep all of that under,
So yeah, one of the producers watched us on the show. She had a real like California voice going on with her.
Yeah, I got her.
Did you meet her in person?
No, but we chatted on the phone because she also had an operatic background.
Yeah.
So
I want to see the video that they made you do. Like they wanted to film you cooking. Like I've never seen that. I would like to see it.
Yeah, it's hidden somewhere deep in the private settings of YouTube. But it's there. It's there.
I'm very excited. And anytime you try to be like, well, anytime we talk about ice dance this year, Jonathan, and you're like, well, as an opera performer, I would be like, as a reality TV star.
Yeah, you're like, nice try. Put the pretension away. You clown. You cable clown. Okay.
And you know what else I love about skating fans is you could give them like 75 different videos of content, right? Like we could give them, spend like 1 million hours giving you like judging the 95 worlds, this and that, and interviews. And then it's always that person that comments, well, when are you going to do the unit video? And it's like, did I not just give you like 18 hours of new content? Well,
did you hear what I said? Or I hear what I said. Did you see what I said? I wrote, you should commission it.
They should.
That'll push it to the front of the line.
Those people never do. It's like the person that says thank you in a restaurant always gives you the bad tip, and the person who asks for it never commissions the video. It's just like a rule of thumb. It's just
okay.
It's one of those like rules. When someone shakes your hand in a restaurant, I remember being a waiter, we'd always be like, because sure enough.
Yeah, they're already letting us down easy. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. You're like, oh, God. That's like a weird thing. No one ever shakes your hand and thanks you for being like.
No.
Anyway, I digress. Yes, getting back to this. All right.
And then
how bored do you think fans were? How often do you watch a bad Russian? Like, when I watch the Zagitova skate and they wear, like, the pleather pants, I'm always like, oh, she really doesn't have any skating skills. And then I'm, like, bored and I don't even want... Half the time I don't know what people's exhibitions are. And I always...
And in general, unless we're covering it for the show, I often skip them. The minute I see a spotlight in a...
Oh, my God. Do you remember when Jason did the one to, like, MC Hammer? And, like, he did a couple other cringy ones in recent years, too, I think before Orsa. I couldn't watch it. The stomach, like, turns, and it's... Yeah, I can't.
It must be for some demographic. It just is not me. So...
I don't know. If it's one of the Russian ladies, like Rudy Novak doing Whitney Houston and rolling around in the ice, I'll watch that. Like, but someone will tell us about that.
But a clip of it, probably not the entire performance.
Or remember, like, there was one of Zagitova that was, like, in cheetah print? And there was one of Medvedeva recently where she was in, like, this, like, it was, like, a heart-shaped top of the dress. It was, like, purple. But it seemed like she was often being, like, kind of sexy, but she was, like, not 18, so I never wanted to share pictures of it. It was just uncomfortable. A lot of these exhibitions are really uncomfortable, especially the Russians. They really push it sometimes.
Yeah, they very much treat it like this sort of MTV-y kind of thing. It gets gritty. It gets very charged with undertones that may or may not be appropriate for the age.
It's not like when Michelle was skating to Winter. Okay, there's not a lot of that happening, and no one is choreographing. No one is choreographing actual good skating, and because these girls don't really have skating skills like the skaters used to, especially because they just focus on clutter, it's disappointing to see them live. It's like, oh,
yeah, it can be gimmickry, yeah, which is what this was. Now we're going to talk this out for a second. Many times in the past, we have seen Michael Jackson programs, YMCA programs, Madonna voguing, and inevitably someone will moonwalk, someone will vogue, someone will, whatever the other thing I said was, like, or YMCA. Now, is that ripping off choreography, or is that you're doing the thing and there's if someone was doing Gangnam Style, you're going to do the thing.
People have done Gangnam Style, by the way.
So you're going to do it. It would be so weird for you not to.
I didn't even know who Billie Eilish was, and after seeing that video, I don't want to. Is this what people were trying to stir the pot between Medvedeva and Zagitova when they both wanted to do the same song? I was like, who gives a shit, okay?
Yeah, like, why are we fighting over this piece?
Because they probably can't both skate to the same thing in Japan, and... So sorry. You know what? Jamie Dancher and Morgan White both wanted to do the Gypsy Kings, or whatever, My Drag. They wanted to do, and they made one of them change it. And it was like, oh, shucks. Well, that's life, and that happens, okay?
Yeah, so fine. You know what? Dude, that's life.
They were trying to, like, demonize one of them, both of them. I don't know. Okay. And it was just...
How similar did you find it? I mean, it does look like the opening moves are taken from the music video. And the music video is Bad Boy? No, what's it called? Bad Guy?
Who knows? I didn't know the song before, and I had never heard of this choreographer. Oh, so obviously...
Jojo Starbuck? Is that who it was?
It was some annoying fan who tweeted at them, acting... Just like when Liam, Aliona's husband, made the Zagitova painting.
That's exactly what it reminded me of, and I hated whoever that was because it's so ill-informed and so wrong.
And they tried to raise hell about that picture.
Copyright issues, because they know nothing about copyright law. And if you have changed 10% artistically of it, which inevitably they did in this instance because she has to skate, so obviously it's going to be at least 10% different. Ridiculous.
Whatever. Anyway, it's...
Such a trigger.
The fans are so annoying sometimes, especially in Twitter, because it's become more and more of a gang mentality with each passing year.
It creates...
It's a cesspool of negativity and disgustingness. And
it's which I believe we have been called. But again, it's like, you're coming to us.
Yeah, we're not...
I would say. You're coming here because it's a platform in which to kind of discuss... And
these fans are the ones that are telling us, you suck, right? Like, we're not going out there and telling someone,
you're mean and I hate you, you homo, or something. Yes. And like, oh, well, something was mean in that, but I don't know that it was us, but okay.
Anyway, it is what it is, right? So,
But Danny G had to post an apology.
Oh, did he? That's so dumb. That is so dumb.
It's idiotic. And anyone who then blames like the skater themselves.
I hope he had a couple of vodkas before and a couple of cigarettes before he wrote that. Okay, or maybe had someone write it for him. Okay, because I would be like, so sorry. You know, like the whole time.
Well, and whoever I just jokingly referred to her as JoJo Starbuck, but JoJo, whatever her name is. Like
the fact that she did a whole post about it. She has 1.5 million followers. She probably gained more. You know what I really thought was shady is seeing which figure skaters liked it, and like Benoit, Danny G's rival, liked it, and I like Benoit, but I was like, Benoit, you shouldn't have liked that post. That makes you look petty, right? Like it makes you look. Mark Sadusky from Peterson's Rink liked it too. I was like, Mark really is concerned too. This is okay. Do you even understand?
This offends you as an artist that, like, come on, you know exactly. Same thing with all the ballets. Come on, even when Adam was doing Afternoon of a Faun, like.
Okay, so every time a skater, Plushenko, Russia loves Plushenko. Every time he does the Michael Jackson or his son, are they paying that choreographer or Michael's estate so that Paris can go buy more drugs? Like, are we doing that? Like, what is going on?
What is happening? Paris probably is dealing. She has a lot of coping mechanisms, I hope.
Yeah, like, I mean, there is so much going on that are you really going to be that? Because
and what a wasted opportunity. Because actually,
this video had 324 million. All right. I've not seen the video. It's probably in a certain demographic, very popular. I wouldn't say that it's iconic, right? But also, this helped raise the profile of it. People wanted to go into copyright of skating and stuff. Usually, in a competition, it's considered the second track of a broadcast is the music. The first track is the commentator audio. And because of that, that's how the commentating, the rights work for the music. So it's not a big issue. Like, they don't have to worry about that. Anyway.
Well, and in the same way, so much of that, like, as we deal with the performance of that kind of music is if you are charging based on the idea that that person is hearing that music. Yeah. So if she was like, come watch me dance this video, then there's a problem. But she's skating, she's jumping, it's in a thing, you know, she's making money for her appearance, not for her doing that.
So there's also fair use. There's a concept of fair use that if she uses only a certain point of it and then makes it her own, it's not a copyright issue anyway. Anyway, they made a big hubbub about nothing because people are bored and they don't like her or they don't like Danny G and they just want attention.
Or they were just looking to stir trouble. Yeah.
And there were some people like Fran who are, of course, always very emotionally affected by anything because they want to stir. Anyway, I just thought that the whole thing... Absurd, and it just hurts the skater who they may or may not like. And at the
who was completely innocent here.
Yeah.
Come on.
Also, there have been so many music videos. How about when Michael Weiss did the Backstreet Boys and did his boy band number? And did anyone... What
about Dan Hollander's Eric Cartman?
Yes, yeah. Did Trey and Matt get offended about that?
Yeah.
Yes. Ridiculous. Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry. All I did was JoJo. I have to say this and sticking your tongue out. You're on par when Miley Cyrus was having her drug-induced phase of whatever.
On a wrecking ball.
On a wrecking ball. And the time that she was dressed up in that animal costume, doing whatever with the tongue. What an artist. JoJo, what an artist. I'm more offended that Zagitova would use your song than use your choreography.
Yeah, that's where they went wrong. In ripping off the
fact that the teens are into this these days, I was like, oh,
I'll tell you that. Yeah.
By the way, I did this whole thing without AC because someone in the comments is going to be like, I can't hear you, and I am schwitzing. Okay. Anyway, I digress. Anyway, horrible. That whole video was oof.
Yeah. I look forward to never hearing it again.
I look forward to these fans finding a show to binge or something else to care about. Another
Garden. It's the summer.
Another cause that doesn't involve them, that has nothing to do with And then it was the fact that she acted like such a martyr. Was posting her thing of
such a victim. As opposed to the child who's holding on to her career, has won an Olympic gold, is
do you know what this girl has been through? Do you know who coaches her?
Yeah, leave her alone. Come on.
By the way,
we razz on the team, but she seems like such a sweetheart, hard worker, talented girl.
Yeah.
It
was just disgusting. Okay, it was just
disgusting. Yeah,
it just made me feel awful about the negativity on Twitter. And then someone on Twitter posted the other day. Some fan was like, "I miss the days when all of skating Twitter would just lift each other up." When was that? I don't. Anyway,
because back even in the AOL days, those horrible forums.
Yeah.
Oh my God! It was always it's an objective sport, and it happens in all sports. You go to any place to get your hair cut, and everybody's like, that dumbass football coach, brr, brr, brr. And you're like, what? I mean, skating is ripe for it also, because it's just regular sport banter, but combined with an artistic one. So everyone's going to have such strong opinions. But
did you notice one other thing? I just want to make one point about Surskaya's interview, because they always act like Medvedeva said these awful things about a Terry. I mean, there are some really deranged fan star comments who call it the C word. Polina Surskaya, by the way, says, when I left her a year ago, probably I didn't do it in a nice way. I didn't come, didn't thank her, didn't give her flowers. We said hi at competition, but nothing more. Terry didn't try to make her the enemy of the people or Russia, because she wasn't even relevant to her anymore.
Right.
That's what this is about, an ego thing. This has nothing to do with the whole flowers thing.
But
this is about
ego. When you read on about Paulina's things, because we know I have a soft spot for her, she would say, and I could never return because I was so humiliated at how horrible I had become. And my heart broke for her, because I was like, she believes that. I mean, it's in the same way when you were talking to Caroline Zhang on the show. And I was at that Skate America when she full-blown imploded.
Yeah.
And she said, you were talking with her, and you were like, why didn't you have a coach with you there? Because we thought it was so defiant and arrogant or something. And she thought I was afraid I was going to just humiliate whoever was sitting there with me, and it would look like it was their fault when it was my own. And suddenly your heart breaks at what the actual inner psyche is. And that's when you read this, it's so heartbreaking from Paulina. she was like, I couldn't do it. I just tried. I just couldn't. She just, tried to help me, and I just failed. Yeah. And you're like, oh my God.
And then they also, like, when you're in the camp and they don't think you're worthy of their time anymore, they banish you to, like, the lower groups with the younger skaters.
The younger kids.
That's what happened at Penangova. That's what she was really saying, is that she was not in, like, the A group anymore.
And Daria was like, she said, well, you can skate with the age group that we tell you, or you can leave. And she was like, so I left. And that was, like, the end of the interview.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, and it was all overweight there, which is nothing new. I mean,
right.
You got to watch that rhythmic gymnastics documentary, Jonathan.
I just started watching some of the clips you were posting on your Instagram stories of it, and really? I was like, this is triggering. It's triggering.
It's triggering, but you have to, once you get over it, it becomes like a dark, dramatic comedy. You just have to take it as such. You just have to know that this is.
You just have to ignore the plight of the girl that's receiving all of that. Okay.
The absurdity of it is so strong, and the drama is so much, and it's.
Do you find that kind of training generational? I'm noticing it for myself in opera. I find that age group that is now in their 60s and 70s was based in shame and dictation of things. Whereas now, like when Sandra would talk about needing to create a safe, vulnerable environment in order for the skater to take risks, to feel safe, to feel like they could explore when they were in their own training camp.
Sandra's
I don't know.
Coach is dead, right? Her coach. The one
One more time?
Sandra's coach, the woman who survived the Holocaust and was like skating for the Germans.
Oh, yeah, I don't know much about her.
Well, she could have a real dark vibe to herself in training too.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So some people coach how they've been coached, and some people choose a different way.
It's like parenting, I suppose. Yeah. Yeah.
So you hope. I don't know. I don't want to say it's just generational and all better, because I don't know that that's true. I think stress brings things out of people. So I don't know. Hopefully,
Yeah, one would hope.
One would hope. So, anyway, it's like pouring rain outside now.
Yeah, I saw you keep looking. I was like, what's he looking at?
What's he looking at? No, it's not a hot boy down the street. It is like literally like the rain. It's like a Hillary Duff video.
How cleansing.
I'm coming.
Wait, I can picture the video now. Okay.
Oh my goodness. Well, let's discuss what was happening over in Colorado.
Actual skating that we got to watch.
We did see Rika and Vincent both do their quad salves. Rika's is getting closer, but she needs a little bit more lift and a little point the toe. It's like
what was interesting is I liked it better than Vincent's. Is that wrong?
I didn't watch or pay attention to him.
I know. Let's be honest. Yeah. She was in the foreground, but also like what I kind of love is the gutsiness of her in that jump, because she just goes for it, and Vincent is the one who's kind of delaying and kind of like. Waiting. I don't know. It was pretty important jumping. Someone had made a video of Hanyu's compared to Rika's compared to Tursunbayeva's, and I thought
hers is better than Tursunbayeva. I think
it has more gravitas. It has more presence and oomph for sure. I'm excited to see it and hope it
needs more work, but it's getting there. Okay.
Yeah.
So
it's exactly where probably I think it should be right now.
Hopefully she can get like 2 or 3 more inches and just pull it around. Just it's close. It's close.
And I'm intrigued that it's just the sow. We haven't seen too much of the toe ever since January when she was.
I think she's focusing on the toe, and they want to do 2 axles in the program. Vincent is going to go to Brown this year. A bit of a strange choice. Of course, Daniel Lee says that means he didn't get into Harvard, Yale, Princeton, or Stanford. And then
that is the insinuation for a Brown attendee, I guess. Okay.
In the biz, okay? Yeah. And then, because he's very into ranking everything. Remember, Midori and Christie, and he's all about what schools you get. But I worry about Daniel Lee, who commissions the videos. I worry that he feels like that's someone's worth as a person. I don't know. It feels very touchy. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, okay. And he is just, I don't know. He has issues with different generations of Asians, have issues with the other generation, and whatever. Anyway,
interesting.
I digress.
It's this whole subtopic.
Hair bends for Vincent getting into Brown, but I'm like, how is he going to train part-time in Japan, part-time in Colorado, and then himself, and then he said that he's only going to Brown for 1 semester? Why now? What the whole thing? Imagine how stressed Mitch Moyer has to be at U.S. figure skating, that all of his top boys are going to be coaching themselves, all of his world medalists. You know,
well, maybe Mitch can stop mucking it up by not being.
Maybe they could like give them some of that memorial fund money and like, or some of the other, get some sponsors and keep them out of school and make
But you
enough
know what's
money.
Interesting also when you were talking about how even someone like Rachel Flatt, when she came back, when people leave the nest and kind of go away and do a thing, sometimes it can give a different perspective.
It can, but
just
how much
as a
of a
human
perspective
being,
do you get when you're running and trying to juggle everything and just a stressed out mess? When you're between school and you're between college and driving and trying to burn the candle at both ends, I don't know. Otherwise, you end up sick and injured and a mess, and you don't do anything well. I don't know. I think it's troubling. It's problematic. It's giving Raphael gray hair. I don't know.
Okay.
And Tammy and Mie Hamada are officially his coaches, which means that they've pushed Tom Z out of the picture for... I always think Tom can make a comeback like a cockroach. But...
Enter Young Yu.
Yes.
He's shifted efforts. Here we go.
Yeah, but he also lost Camden, too.
Yeah.
Will
but
he
I
go
don't
to
know
Toyota?
that was going to ever work. I don't know that was... You know how some coaches probably are like, oh, I just need to like work with them a little bit more. I know I can do this with them. Mm-hmm. I don't know what was left to be done there.
Right.
It didn't seem to be a conducive situation.
I just wonder, will they try? I don't know. Will Tom go to the Toyota Center and like rebuild? I don't know what he will do. But Yu Young, whatever, Chen Liu. She
I know.
She beats Alyssa Liu in one of the segments of the Broadmoor Open. There are like 50 competitions. There's the Peggy Fleming Trophy. There's the Broadmoor Short and Long. Alyssa Liu did the short and the long, and then she competed in the junior short as an exhibition. And people were like, she's going to injure herself doing the axel toe and the exhibition. What? I love just fans. Anyway, she has to do a junior Grand Prix version because she's getting ready for it, and there's a required jump for the solo jump in there. So, anyway, I think that the important thing is that Yu Young, the triple axel, looks more rotated than it did a year ago, and it looks like it's getting better. She was successful one of the times she did it.
Right, yeah. And it was like it was the kind of stumble in the the Evita program that you were like, oh yeah, that's normal. Like I felt like it's still, we are going to see it this season.
It's the Madonna Evita, so Patti LuPone won't be happy about that. But
that's right. She's watching Korean nationals this year.
Someone please tag Patti LuPone and say, how dare they use Madonna? Exactly. That's what you should be offended by.
That's right. Fine, you want to be offended? We'll give you a list of things you should be offended.
It's Pride Week, okay? How dare they?
It's anti-gay to use Madonna's Evita instead of
you think Madonna's a real ally?
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
I'm kidding. You know someone's going to start debating which one did more for the gays in the comments. Anyway.
We love them both. Fear not. Okay.
We love them both. Patti LuPone did tell us that Madonna's a movie killer and that she's dead behind the eyes. Gotta love it.
Those are her words. She also called Glenn Close but no cigar when Glenn was winning out on Sunset Boulevard. Just saying.
Listen, the ghost of Evita came to Patti in a dream. So I believe that gives Patti more Evita points or could put her in a home. Either way, I just think...
Either way, we're having a good time.
Having a great time. And
if she had ever gone like this, maybe the ghost of Eva Perón would have sued for copyright.
Maybe, okay? If she got out on that... Yeah, how come Evita wasn't suing for that balcony scene? Okay, anyway. Stand back, Buenos Aires. Yu Young, if she knows who Evita is, I'd be very impressed. But how do you think she compares to Ensu? Because Ensu's getting taller and not really with...
well, these jumps looked pretty
solid.
Who's
coaching Ensu right now? It doesn't appear to be Raphael. So...
I mean, I think she has an inherent beauty of movement.
Ensu.
Ensu, yeah.
The Koreans love Yu Young, though, because they've watched her grow up, so they have an affinity for her. But remember, they didn't love Ensu until the whole Mariah Bell thing happened. Now she has all the sympathy.
But to me, she was... and you did a lot to sort of bring a lot of people's attention to her, because she really was is a beautiful skater, and I think is far more elegant and refined. But the jump started looking a little squirrely sometimes.
I think that Yu Young can get there, though. I think that she's
she's just young. I think she's only 15.
I think in the long run, it looks like her jump technique is pretty solid. And
the loop was incredible.
And Sue was starting to do the severe right rough thing that doesn't work for everyone. So I don't know how that will work for her. And it looks like she grew when she was in Korea. So until they really settle things down, I think Yu Young has the advantage for the Grand Prix series right now. But we'll have to see what happens in the meantime. But what did you think of Alyssa Liu? The Lori Nicolization of her. Did they go to Lori too soon?
I don't think there's such a thing. But I think there is maybe a thing about expecting too much too quickly. I
did see the Lori moves and the choreography, but when you... I don't want to say that her skating skills are not as advanced as her jumping. It's clear. I was talking to someone, they said, look, that's not what she's practicing 8 hours a day when the dad takes her to the room.
That's not what's giving her the attention. She didn't win nationals over the senior ladies because she was skating on a deep edge.
And I know that they've worked on it, and it's not that they're not working on it, because I think that they do address it. I just think that more of the attention is on the jumps. However, I think that they do need to put more of attention to the skating skills, because on some of the takeoffs of her axel and her lutz, she does things with her posture where she kind of crunches and twerks. And she's doing that because she doesn't have the rhythm and the ride out of the speed of the edge to really just have it be smooth. And that's why it kind of looks squirrely when Alyssa... And it's not to take
Squirrely is a good word, yeah. No.
What she's doing, because she is dope, but the jumps are
She's the only one doing it. It's like when everyone hated on... I mean, now it was different because Nathan was always a bit inherently more artistic, obviously, than Alyssa or Vincent. Yeah. So, but, everyone was happy to hate on Nathan, and now everyone hates on Vincent. And yes, for me, Vincent's style of skating is not what draws me to the sport.
Me
neither. However, you cannot deny that he makes the U.S. more relevant. And someone like Alyssa will make the U.S. relevant. So all these same fans that are like, quad lutz, oh my gosh, man.
Why didn't they do the toe before the sow, before the lutz? That's weird to me. That's a red flag. And that means, are you just trying to compete with the Aturi girls? Are you trying to have long lasts?
Well, okay, let's talk it out. So really compare it. Forget like what we think is like hallmark iconic skating. And since they're kind of going for this Aturi thing, because that seems to be...
I don't think she's in the same ballpark as Kamila Valieva. I'm sorry, I don't.
I don't at all. I don't at all either.
I think Kamila is far beyond.
Yeah.
I imagine the 2 and 3 in Aturi's camp are 2, and it's just because of Alyssa's inherent the lack of skate. I just think that they need to spend, just let her skate, learn to skate, work on that, and put the attention.
But it's interesting because we were talking about these other girls with Aturi, and I don't know that we know of them as basic skating skills.
And I know that people in the U.S. are getting so excited that we finally have someone doing these jumps. I just don't think that when she grows an inch and puts on 5 pounds, that comes with growing an inch or 2, that it's going to last, because the jumps look like they're barely happening now. And I would just think that focus on the technique and the strength and getting them, but let's work on lasting and good technique that's going to last. Because we watched from 94, and they said that Michelle gained 3 inches and 20 pounds on the broadcast of the 95 Worlds, and her good technique is what allowed her to do it before then. And it just seems like they want a lot of help for Alyssa, but they're sending her to Orts, or they're sending her to this person, to Roth.
And too many chefs in the kitchen would be the opposite, in my opinion. You want all these famous people and all these incredible people to meet you for a little bit of time and give you one pointer. To me, that kind of work is done day in and day out with consistency. It would be one person you're honing in on that's really ingraining it in you, like Tracy at the cricket club or wherever. Yeah. Right? She's still there.
But would she be at the cricket club if they thought she were the real deal?
Oh, I think if there was the right interest from the right person, it would be happening. And I think there's a lot, unfortunately, now because the U.S. has gone overboard in the hype.
Will they just put her at the West Coast USFS headquarters where Raphael and Gordieva and everyone are? Because maybe they could help her. They could get the right coach in there with her coach and mentor her coach to become more skilled and more experienced, right? Because she's a little young and green. They can help her with the skating skills and stuff. It's just the detail is there. And I also worry that the expectations are going to be too high. I think she'll win a junior Grand Prix or 2, but I don't think that she will win the final. And I don't even know that
she'll
medal.
I don't see. And
I don't see her medaling in the final.
Yeah.
I just worry that they're going to act like the sky is falling if she doesn't do well this year, because they've put all of that hype on her. And they've put all this stuff on the quads, but the quads are cheated and they don't look like they're lasting, right? Like they're kind of like a trick rather than a jump, right? Like they don't look like it's a sustainable.
And I do feel that about a lot of the young Russian quad girls also. However, it was a consistent trick.
I think Trusova can do it. I think.
How did they get so consistent without the skating skills?
She makes them do a million a day, but
it's just repetition.
But some of them skate. Even they skate better than Alyssa does right now.
Yeah, yeah.
They do. She has work to do. She was weak last year. Maybe, I don't, honestly, if we judge the whole thing, did she deserve to win nationals? Who knows? I don't know. That seems like she got a lot of bonus points for hype and things. I just think it's mistake-ish that they pushed her so... But, I mean, she's cute girl, and we want to see her succeed, so...
Yeah.
I don't know. It's weird, but good for her for putting these jumps out there.
She's doing, I think, the best she can right now, which is up it as much as you can and
nice
be working on
the choreography,
skills.
But it's the connecting skills, and it's the connecting.
But you have to be able to do it. And to me, it's not having that choreography; it's having someone work with you to be able to freely do it all the time. Yeah.
And to me, it's the basic stroking that's just not there yet. So. That will make all the difference in the long run. So,
maybe she could go to China and do a session with Brian Orser and Tracy Wilson there.
But even Sui and Han went, and they worked with David, and they worked with Katya, and then they worked with Raphael while they were there. So,
and I loved it. So the Chinese Federation put out that interview with them.
By the way, they're trying to poach everyone from the U.S. They get more and more skaters by the day. They are putting all. The Chinese Federation is paying.
You mean to compete or as far as coaches?
No, to compete, and then for coaching too, but they're putting all this money behind their current Olympics. Canada should be very worried because they're losing, we've heard Poge. Does Canada have a team medal in the bag for the Beijing Olympics? I'm not so sure.
Maybe a medal, but...
Maybe, but I don't know.
But this could be the U.S.'s chance to finally move up.
One spot. We're not going to beat Russia, I don't think.
We'll take it.
Could the U.S. win gold? I don't know.
No.
Wait, yeah, maybe. Because Russia doesn't have a consistent man, right?
They have a consistent enough man.
That's like saying,
could water down the contest.
Isn't that saying like the Kinirums are consistent enough for pairs?
No, because I still find Kolyada more consistent than Liam.
I don't know. Anyway, if the U.S. So let's say France doesn't have a team in the top 5, right? Maybe they do. Maybe they don't. Who knows? Dance will be first or second. Nathan will be first and second compared to Hanyu competes or not, and who that is. And then you have a lady. Brady could do well enough, or Alyssa Liu.
Yeah, we have people that are all doing well enough.
The U.S. might be able to be in it for her. They might be able to. Who knows? Anyway, Canada is not in it right now. So China could move up. If Boyang Jin can get it together, he's working with Benoit. That's a match.
The lady is their big, and it's such a shame.
They want to. But she competed internationally, so that's a problem. So they can't just pull
that makes her.
You have to sit out a year. So.
Oh, at a time when now she's moving.
So. But they're getting like all the girls from sectionals. They are poaching.
Well, but what about? So we talked about this when we did Chinese nationals because they let the Hong Kong skater.
Yeah.
Gracie Lee, I think is her name, and I'm sorry if I'm missing.
Christie.
And she was at the Broadmoor, I think, and she did pretty not so great at Worlds, but at Chinese nationals she delivered like a pretty quality program. It's a shame they can't just figure out how she could represent China.
Yeah. Well. I think they're figuring stuff out. I think. I hope. They have time, but they're making moves. Just every couple of months, we hear that more and more skaters are going over there. Beverly Zhou, I think, in California, is representing them.
Okay.
Look, they're going to figure it out. China will.
Yeah.
Look,
bring back Lu Chen.
Bring it back. Okay. She's doing very well in our 95 judging. At least on my judging cards.
Except she could never do those IJS spins. Bless her heart.
Bless her heart. That was like the most fun we ever had on the video this morning. So,
yeah.
Let's discuss. Apparently, so Trusova, she needs a haircut. I'm sorry, Jonathan. Did we, like, remember how we learned that Surya?
Yeah, it's gross.
It does, and it looks like dry and split ends, and they accentuate. Oh.
Do it. I don't know if they do that thing where they can donate it over there, but it's time.
Terry seems very into aesthetics. Why doesn't she, like, yell at her? I don't know.
Well, it's so funny because they can really pile it up, and she wears it up when she competes.
I know. Isn't it weighing down those quads? It looks very...
Well, literally, I had no idea how long it was considering that. But that video of her talking about wanting to win the Olympics.
I know. It's getting very long. Yeah, I don't know. I think she can win the Olympics, potentially.
She absolutely is in the running.
Yeah. Anyway, she seems, like, very charming. I think that they'll make good music. Apparently, Kostranaya is doing good triple-triples in Japan right now, so she is getting healthier.
Great.
She's still not a Terry's favorite, but it's okay.
Doesn't matter. It's probably why she's my favorite.
That's what someone said. They're like, well, she actually eats meals, and she...
skates on it?
She can skate, so that's probably why she's not the favorite.
She's telling you something, yeah.
Yeah. And apparently some of these skaters, like, their parents are with them in Japan. They brought them there. So that's like a nice thing. Looks like they're having a real fun time.
Well, that's good. Yeah, there were clips of, like, Zagitova and, I don't know, was it Trusova? Like, Jim Coletto has been doing a good job of, like, posting backstage things, including a shirtless Morgan doing, like, some aerobic activity.
Tim is getting all the followers. Good for Tim. You know.
Yeah, I would follow after that thing. But he was also
with Weaver and Poche, retiring, that he's got, like, a much better chance of making the free dance at Worlds. They missed it by one spot last year. So.
Oh, okay.
And did you know that they're doing a Dream Girls rhythm dance? You know I love a Dream Girls anything.
Well, there's some good rhythms in it. You know what I mean? Like, I bet there's a lot of variety in there.
I'm telling you. Jonathan, you're going to have to sing it for us, okay?
And One Night Only. Like, that's got, like, a good disco,
I prefer the One Night Only that Jennifer Hudson did rather than the Beyonce version. Okay, rather than the disco.
Oh, okay.
I like when Jennifer was like...
From a vocal standpoint, Jennifer Hudson is a much more substantial instrument.
And she emotes
every note.
She over-emotes every note. That's what we like about it.
Yeah, she has to sing for her life. You know what I mean? And Beyonce's just doing some kitchen fun.
She was that fat girl that was downtrodden, and she's a musical who can sing, and she had
something to say.
She is Florence Ballarding the entire movie. Okay, we only have to do one night.
Who won the Oscar?
Exactly.
Just saying. Yeah.
Beyonce. As Wendy Williams said, you need closed captioning when she's acting.
Those are Wendy's words.
Those are Wendy's words, not mine. But anyway. I'm getting back.
You're doing great, Dave.
Doing okay. I can't read my writing. Karen. Karen, yeah, we talked about her.
We did talk about her.
She looks good.
I was floored.
Hannah Harrell, you weren't floored by.
Correct. I was, like, trying to come up with some.
She needs to learn to skate.
Okay, wait. Just how do I want to say this? Just stop. I just can't with these programs.
Are you a Misha Gee choreographer fan? I don't know. It's too soon, but I feel like he picks really generic things for people.
Well, I think you're also dealing. I agree. I also agree you have who's in front of you.
He's amazing at self-promotion. I think he should work in PR. He should be the skater press agent, maybe not the choreographer. You understand? Yeah. He knows how to get attention and get things done. So I have
and not a lot lot of them do.
And he's a hustler. I respect that.
Yeah.
The actual programs, I thought Medvedeva's Tosca was full of hot air, but better than the other things she didn't connect with. We'll have to see. The jury is still out. I'm not saying good or bad. It's just, I didn't like the
problem is, the situation with Hannah also is she's doing the arms above the head, which we have established is useless. It's useless from a scoring standpoint. It is not a bullet point. It does not give you GOE. I don't understand why we're talking about it anymore. And furthermore, you see it completely messing up Hannah's timing because she's thrusting her arms on every jump and it's throwing her completely out of line. It was like a masochistic kind of Anna Pogorelaya, Shoma Uno, just go for it and see what happens. And I was like, if you put your damn arms down, you might have to actually jump with the legs. I don't know why I had such a visceral reaction to it. Like, she was fine at nationals. She was fine. But of course, Ting, who was placing below her, was far more interesting to me as an audience member.
Yeah. And then, what did you think about Jason and Camden? They did the Peggy Fleming Trophy. So we saw Jason doing
Dear Evan Hansen.
Dear Evan Hansen.
And you know what I'm going to say?
He moves beautifully. Always.
He creates some of the most beautiful pictures and positions we've ever seen. I just don't understand their motivation. And to me, the technique is there to serve the interpretation. So there's a series of beautiful pictures being made, and I don't understand the emotional connection to it.
Why does Jason go to the Peggy Fleming Trophy?
To do an exhibition, of all things.
Is he going to do shows in Asia soon? I was wondering if he did it as a warm-up.
Now, that would make sense, because the jump content for an exhibition number was substantial, all things considered, you know.
Yeah.
It could be.
Yeah, I'm just not sure what is happening there. But
it's something I'm waiting for, is the piece he actually emotionally connects to. You were teasing me because I called that one girl a communicator. But I actually mean it as a real compliment. There's so many
about
other
her vocal abilities.
No, I could do it so much shadier. You know, it looks like she had a lot of fun. You know, you did it. You sure sang that piece. But in this instance, I'm waiting for the piece, and as Jason is becoming, he's becoming a man.
Yeah.
And just at that point where we all kind of move forward, hopefully, a step with our age and maturity and all that sort of stuff. I think he is starting to find his footing on who he is and all that sort of stuff. But I hope what's coming down the pike is the thing that, like, what do you go back and watch on YouTube? I go back and watch the shows where they have reach right out of the camera and grab my heart. And I'm like, the men that used to do that were Daisuke, occasionally, that Hanyu at the Grand Prix, when he thrust his arms up at the end, and it was like, oh my God, I just felt I
think once Jason is in a relationship and things like that, he'll have more to say on ice.
Yeah. You don't want to sound dismissive and just old and be like, oh, I need more perspective. I need more
life. There's something about Josh Ferris. He could do it. He just innately.
And that's what, thank you for saying that, because back in the day when they were kind of head to head at Junior Worlds and things like that, I tended to prefer Josh.
I liked them both, but I preferred Josh. Yeah.
I preferred Josh because the gravitas. Yeah. There was more emotional depth to it, and it's not to take away from Jason, because Jason is incredible. Yeah. But I want him to use his powers for good. I want him to apply all of that beauty to some meaning.
He needs someone to dig out him what he really feels. You know, what
Sandra, when she talks about meeting with Chen Lu,
she has her dinners with Tracy, because it feels like Tracy's the one who believes in him. I think it's going to be really hard for Jason to make the Worlds this year. But maybe Vincent going to Brown is an opening, or you never know what could happen with Tomoki. I mean, keep plugging away.
Yeah, but Tomoki lined himself up pretty well last year at Four Continents.
But you know what? If you're in the top four, you're in the mix. So you never know.
Right.
So things happen. But yeah, I don't know. I'm Team Danny G this week.
Well, in this instance, I certainly am on this subject matter.
Yes. Yeah, I think we covered it all, Jonathan. I mean, we really...
Remember, even in the Papadakis and Cizeron interview, you held up the Liam Cross. They weren't like, you owe us 55 cents because that's our image. Get off it.
Get off it, yeah. JoJo, some of the skaters, sometimes Tara, I think, hired the genie in a bottle person to teach her how to dance, and Christy, I think, hired a Janet Jackson choreographer to work with them. But that's not always done.
To kind of combat that.
But that isn't always done. But I think sometimes it also taught them how to move that way too.
Absolutely.
But I don't know if they make enough money off of the skating now. They may in Japan, but it's dicey, right? Are they going to make that much money? Or Sandra's just a class act anyway. So, yeah.
Old news.
Old news. Yes. Whatever. Yeah. What is your take on JoJo Jojo Gomez. Did you like
Not Jojo Starbuck, because we love Jojo Starbuck.
I was like, oh, Jojo, the one who sang like, leave, get out, right? Anyway, you wouldn't know who she is, but I did.
I probably know the song, but I wouldn't know who sang it.
But anyway, it was the girl that had beyond her years. Anyway, the rest of the Orser people were in China. Joseph Fan was back at home doing those triple loops. What did you make of the Peggy Fleming Trophy and the Broadmoor Open? Which skater do you think is going to take the reins in South Korea, hold an edge, and look sexy? Bye, guys.
Bye, guys. Oh, I have no order. Oh, I'm sorry, Dave. I ruined it.
It's all right.
Do you want to do it by...
No.
Is there an order, or you're just... I'll follow your lead. Where you lead, I will follow. Okay.
I will follow him wherever he may go. Okay.
Someone needs to do a sister act routine or program.
Yes! Oh my God. And then Whoopi Goldberg can be like, you were copying me.
That's right. Because moment of honesty, I may or may not have like improvised on the ground my own skating routine to the Sister Act soundtrack, including like the incidental music where Dolores Van Coutier is just like running in the casino. I was like, this is great for the footwork.
Okay.
Yeah, it is. It is. Jesus is upset that you that you're plagiarizing him. Okay.